in the moment as Omen, I think you could realistically come up with a flash like that. Like if your note instead read, here's the question, I struggle to hit a successfully. Pearl, it's a question or a problem. Do I do this better? And then our answer is like, try splitting the site and using utility to contest art. And this answer here doesn't specify any utility on our end, which means regardless of who you're playing, like you could be on Viper, you could be on Astra, and notice now you can just kind of intuitively be like, oh, I'll concuss art. They could be like, oh, I'm gonna try to molly art. Or maybe you're playing Phoenix. You're like, oh, I'm gonna flash art. And instead of just writing down one agent's utility for how you'll contest it, you instead wrote down the general concept of how the map is played to perform some objective that you struggled with.
If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join my official Discord over at discord.gg/woohoojin. Here you can enter free raffles to win free VOD review live on stream. You can also support me with a premium membership, which unlocks access to private VCT restreams, professional player analysis, shared professional strategy channels, and much more. Enjoy the video.
My Pearl win rate's horrible for defense. I have no clue why. I'm also struggling to keep my rank, so I don't know if I actually improved. I think my Pearl prep is good though for like how to place it. Okay. Chill. So there's this phenomena, and I'm about to say it, and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, that's me. Especially if you're a duelist player. What happens is you're some rank, let's say you're like Platinum 2, and then you rank up to say like Diamond 2 or Ascendant 2, and you're a duelist player. And then you think to yourself, well, dang, I can't hang with these guys mechanically, so I'm going to switch to support for now until I can catch up. And then you start playing like Initiator or Sage or Smokes. And then you just like get yourself into this constant spiral of lack of self-confidence, and then you just never heckin' rank up again. You like never play duelist again. You guys gotta all chill. You gotta chill with this. I'm also struggling to keep my rank, so I don't know if I actually improved nonsense. Get that mindset out of here. I want you to be like, I earned this goddamn Diamond 3, and everyone else in this rank is a poser. You've got heckin' imposter syndrome, my guy. All right, Zach, let's see. Our general idea of what to contest and when is good, but our execution is mid. Try to write questions down during your games when you're unsure of the best way to contest what you want to contest, and watch pro VODs with an underlying goal of answering these questions. When lurking, we want our default happen to be fall back after game. Okay, I need to see your homework, Zach. Class is starting, and the teacher's collecting your homework. I need you to show me that you did this. You only wrote half of it? Hey, man, partial credit. Let's see it. Yeah, you show the work, or I go next VOD. I rule with an iron peel. You know me. I tell you to write down questions and then watch pro VODs to try and answer those questions. Well, I better see you. You DM the Google link. Okay, perfect. I need access to your Google Doc. Oh, where's the questions? Where's the questions? These look like answers. I'm looking for the questions. Like, I get it. These are nice notes, but where's the questions? You didn't write any? I'm trying to teach you how to learn optimally, and you're saying, oh, I learned a different way? What's the point? Look. I'm showing you the poster child. AI wrote that. All right, here. I'm pulling up Pearl from RAG. We're leaking the private student prep. Questions, answers with links to VODs. There's a Forsaken VOD. Questions, answers. You don't just watch a VOD and try to write down the prep. It's too messy. It's too messy because look how noisy this is. So much of this is Omen specific prep. What's going to happen if the meta controller changes? Look at all this stuff. Astra Smoke B? Are we playing Astra on this map? Omen TPs or fake TPs? What question does that answer? You're not answering questions. You're just writing down strats. It's different. Let me try and explain the difference to you as your VOD review. So, Valo Plant. Okay. Let's say you're trying to prep Bind because you have a bad win rate on Bind. And every time you play Bind, you happen to, like, for whatever reason, you die a lot to showers. You know, we'll go with the cliche. And so let's say then you're out here like, okay, let's watch some pro Bind VODs. And then you prep in this manner. Problem is when you prep in this manner, you're just going to write down a bunch of cool ways to hit the site. You'd be like, okay, well, I can smoke like this. And I can stim and run up short with my team with some showers. Okay, well, I can run B. Like, you're going to write down, like, smoke plays. But what are you learning here? You're learning stuff you already knew. You knew that you could smoke like this and stim. There's no way you didn't know that. You're writing down, oh, I can orbital strike U-Haul. But you knew that. Yet you still die to showers because you're not trying to answer the question of how do I stop dying to showers? You're instead trying to answer the question of how does Brimstone play unbind? Which is why it's really important to ask yourself questions and try to answer those questions, not try to answer the how does X agent play on map? That's not the question you want answered. The question you want answered is how do I avoid these things that plague me in my games? And these things are usually unique to you. And if you don't write them down to watch, it's really difficult. Like, this is just a retake smoke. Why? What problem of yours does this smoke solve? I don't know. Because you haven't listed your problems on the map or things that you feel are problems on the map. Okay. So I'm genuinely trying to, I like that you tried to do homework, but it's really important the way you approach it. You have to write down these questions during your games when you feel uncomfortable, when bad things happen to you, when things that you're like, oh, I should have known, or you're like, oh man, again, then you need to write it down. Like, why does X always happen to me on this map? That's how you start building a doc like this. This is too, pull up rags again. Your notes are too specific to your agent. You want your notes to be kind of map specific and less agent specific. They can still be agent specific to a certain degree. But if we pull up like rag, I had to dial these back for him quite a bit. And notice now it's like fight for short control, fight outside hookah. And now it's like we're trying to describe the ideas and less about like the agent itself. So here he's like saying he's fighting U-Haul essentially. I mean, he's using a flash, but he's not out here like, this is the specific Yoru tech I'll use. Like, he could play Phoenix here. He could play Sky. And that's one of the benefits of keeping your notes relatively general for the role and for the map. Like, take aggressive opening fights. That's just a duelist role note. It's not a specific like Omen only. So like this note here, I'm not a big fan because you're showing like a specific Omen flash. I don't think you need to write that down. But if you do, you could. But it's better if your mind contextualizes this as it's great to split art and main for the A hit and use utility to take art. If that was your note in the moment as Omen, I think you could realistically come up with a flash like that. Like if your note instead read, here's the question, I struggle to hit A successfully. Pearl, it's a question or a problem. Do I do this better? And then our answer is like, try splitting the site and using utility to contest art. And this answer here doesn't specify any utility on our end, which means regardless of who you're playing, like you could be on Viper, you could be on Astra, and notice now you can just kind of intuitively be like, oh, I'll concuss art. They could be like, oh, I'm gonna try to molly art. Or maybe you're playing Phoenix, you're like, oh, I'm gonna flash art. And instead of just writing down one agent's utility for how you'll contest it, you instead wrote down the general concept of how the map is played to perform some objective that you struggled with. So be careful. This is too specific. Your notes are too specific. This note page would have to get like 50 pages long for it to be a full playbook for the map for your agent, and it's too much. You don't need to write all this stuff down. I'd rather you try to solve the general concept. You feel for Zach because you took similar notes when you first started and Christian was like, this is not sustainable. Yep. It's all about learning how to learn.